Hey everybody, it's Mr. Cinema Junkie here with my entry to GenkiSlave's contest. He wants to know our top 5 comedy movies. That really kind of threw me for a loop, but I'm glad somebody kind of mixes it up a little bit. I'm not saying that nobody mixes it up. I'm just saying I'm glad it wasn't what I expected it was going to be. But I love movies in general, so my list can be forever. They can go on forever. So, top 5 comedy movies. I have to think about it along the lines of what 5 comedy movies would I want to grab and take with me if I had to like book out in an emergency. So let me start with a classic. That would be the Marx Brothers Duck Soup. Now I like a lot of the Marx Brothers movies, but Duck Soup tops them all. I like their timing and their pacing, the characters that they play. Well, they basically play themselves, but the scenarios that the characters find them in. Also because it has their fourth brother Zeppo in there, which is always cool. Great straight man. So yeah, that's Duck Soup from the Marx Brothers. Second will be The Jerk with Steve Martin. This one just had a lot of really cool sight gags, a lot of goofy humor, and it also pushed some boundaries. Which I always admire any movie that does that kind of crosses a couple of lines here and there. It definitely did that and pulled it off with as goofy as it was, it pulled it off with a touch of class. So that would be my second pick, The Jerk, Steve Martin's The Jerk. Speaking of Steve Martin, definitely my third choice would be Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. That one just had really cool pacing. I never get tired of watching that one. I love the whole story. I believe it was a remake, but I'm not 100% on that one. But the whole teacher teaching the student, both of them getting schooled by an outside person, that whole concept was really cool. I think my favorite part was when Janet Colgate tells the guy that she'd been ripped off, and she talks about, oh, he took my money and my fur, and then she ends it with, and he even took my little change purse. Like really just digging in there. So Dirty Rotten Scoundrels be number 3. Number 4. I'd have to go with the originator of all the stoner movies, and that would be Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. Not only did it have great bits in it, not only will it stand the test of time, and it has stood the test of time, but it had a great soundtrack to it. The music on it was really cool. It spawned one of the most recognizable songs ever, Earache My Eye, by Alice Bowie. There wasn't too much not to like about that one. I'd say by the third or fourth movie, the whole man thing kind of got, hey man, what's going on, man? That kind of wore thin after a while. But I'd have to say like the first 3 movies are definite keepers, and then the other ones are just to like complete the set. But I'd say out of Cheech and Chong's movies, it has to be Up in Smoke, next movie, and Nice Dreams. Those are my 3 favorite Cheech and Chong. But my 4th pick for the list, definitely Up in Smoke by Cheech and Chong. And number 5. Wow, that's a tough one. There's a lot of stuff from the 70s, 80s, definitely the 80s. I grew up in the 80s era where there's a lot of sex comedies and stuff. But I'm going to go a little bit more modern because this is like, what's the term? Modern day classic. This is one that's going to be talked about for a long, long time. And I had to I'm really kind of torn between 2 modern classics. The first one being Sex Drive, which I'm not going to pick, but I actually liked Seth Green's role in there as the Amish guy, the smart-ass Amish guy. He was sarcastic and funny, but the one that outdoes that one by a fairly decent margin is, of course, The Hangover. I really like that movie. Like I said, everything about it is just really cool. Made me laugh, had me laughing from beginning to end, and it never fails to bring a smile to my face when I watch it. So definitely looking forward to the sequel. But those would be the top 5 comedy movies for me: Duck Soup, The Jerk, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Up in Smoke, and The Hangover. Well, that's it for me and my list. Good luck to everyone entering the contest, and thank you, Aid, for having this contest. Very cool of you. And I'll be seeing everybody later. Thanks.